One of the biggest mysteries of Longbridge, the fate of what was believed to be the future of MG Rover, Britain's last car giant. These mysterious cars were at the former car plant for more than 20 years, lost and forgotten, a complete mystery. Until in August 2023, murky images were circulated online of these incredible pieces of history languishing in a car park. The past and future of Rover and MG in a car park of what is now sadly a derelict building site. This is the story of how you saved the past and what was once thought to be the future of the British car industry, taking these incredible cars from abandoned in a car park on a building site to a museum exhibit. Hello everybody and welcome to this video. If you're not subscribed already, please make sure to do so. It really does help me out and you get to see more of this. More cool history videos, more prototypes and more projects like 2600R, my Rover SD1 and my Ford Cortina project. Remember to drop a like on this video and drop a comment below as well. What would you like us to cover next? And are there any other mysteries that you'd like to see solved? As well as, do you have any MG Rover or Longbridge memories? Let us know in the comments below. But without further delay, this is the story of how we as a community took these cars from abandoned to a museum exhibit. First, it's important to look at the history of these cars and why they are so significant. The RDX60 was MG Rover's collaboration with TWR to develop a new medium-sized car to take on the Golf. This car was developed in the early 2000s and shown at a secret invite-only event for selected dealers, during which Peter Stevens drove the 75-based car onto the stage in the conference centre of Longbridge, the MG TF GT. This was the car that MG Rover in 2004 hoped would attract investment by showing what they could do with their existing models. The TF GT was going to come equipped with the KV6, pushing out 200 brake horsepower with a top speed of 145 miles per hour. This was an MGB GT for the new millennium with incredible performance. The GT was slated to go into production at the earliest opportunity if the demand and investment were there. The Rover TCV. The TCV or Tourer concept vehicle was a showcase by MG Rover and their design team led by Peter Stevens of the future of the brand. The TCV was ahead of its time, breaking the mould and showing the public what a lifestyle vehicle could be. With its weird load space demonstration by taking a whole washing machine in the rear, it really was design and utility combined. MG PR1, PR2 and PR3. These are the prototypes for what was once the most popular roadster in the UK, the MGF. The PR1 equipped with the M16 engine and front-wheel drive, the PR2 rear-wheel drive with a Rover V8 under the bonnet, and the PR3 which later became the MGF we all know today, being the mid-engine car with rear-wheel drive. The Mini Maximum tuned by Kent Auto Developments in collaboration with Rover Group. This Mini was the ultimate hot rod, so much so Jeremy Clarkson even put tomato sauce in his ears. This was a demonstration of how fast the 35-year-old Mini could go. All of these cars, significant historically or simply unique, were kept at Longbridge by Rover Group and then MG Rover, until 2005 when the company collapsed. These cars were thought to have either been scrapped along with the body shells that were sadly smashed up at the site, or sold on the fire sale that commenced after the collapse of the company by the liquidators. Instead though, these cars were stored in purgatory as the rest of Longbridge year after year crumbled around them, only being known to those closest to the site. Contractors would tell stories of the weird and wonderful cars that were still on site. After years of dormancy, in 2019 photos surfaced online. The cars were still here, and in near complete condition. The RDX60 and TCV suddenly, after more than 15 years, became the stars of the show once more, with AR Online and the MG Car Club championing to save these cars. But MG weren't ready to give the cars up just yet. The contributions by AR Online and the MG Car Club were an essential step in the story of these cars, as MG confirmed they would be stored safely. The trail sadly went cold. There was no word or confirmation from MG on what was happening with these cars. Of course, naturally, the community thought the worst. These cars were being destroyed. The cars then slipped into the background once again, being stored at the ever-shrinking site, only to be moved when they got in the way. In 2023 though, that would all change. A murky video was posted online. The cars were still here but in an incredibly sorry state. Stored outside with the roofs down on some of the PR cars, they were open to the elements. The hunt was on. Where were these cars stored and what was going to happen to them? This was a critical point in the story of these cars, a real make or break situation. If vandals got to the cars, they would be destroyed or deemed uneconomical to repair. The car's future was now in true jeopardy. This is when the incredible community that surrounds these cars would spring into action. We started a campaign that would bring these cars to the forefront once again. The cars forgotten twice were third time lucky. The community rallied around this cause. I posted videos on the subject and had a paddy outside the gates of Longbridge, but without you, the viewer, the community would not have been able to gain the traction needed. And in late 2023 we made the story mainstream, being shown on BBC West Midlands and on the BBC News website. MG would then confirm with the help of the British Motor Museum these once forgotten cars would be saved and loaned to the museum. It's important to understand that the British Motor Museum has been a constant thread, a driving force behind saving these cars and preserving our motoring heritage for years to come. The community gave MG the push they needed, yes, but the British Motor Museum, which is a part of our community, gave these cars the chance they needed to really shine. In December 2023, I was given the chance by the British Motor Museum to see RDX60 for the first time, and the first MGF ever produced. The RDX60 was in a sorry state. Interior nearly ruined by the time outside and bits hanging off, the cars needed expert attention to bring them back to life. With the cars now in the hands of the British Motor Museum, that's exactly what they would get. Over months, these cars were given the attention they deserved after all the years of neglect. This all culminated in the unveiling event, Longbridge Legacies, which took place on March the 12th, 2024. These once neglected cars were the stars of the show once again, restored by the museum and put on display at what was the biggest evening event the museum has hosted so far, showing how much the community cares about these cars. These photos compared with the cars at the unveiling really do tell the story of what we all did, from abandoned car park to museum exhibit. The other cars, TCV and the PR cars, are currently safe in storage, waiting their turn to take to the stage once again, as proud representatives of our industry, and to keep telling the story that needs to be remembered, the legacy of Longbridge, the place and the people who made the cars we all love. For more detailed history on these cars and event coverage from other members of our community, look in the description below. I've linked many great videos in there. But as usual, thank you for watching, keep watching and remember to subscribe for more of this, and I'll see you in the next one. And who knows what we might find next time.